I always tell people, it took you a lifetime to earn the money. It took you a lot of sacrifice to save the money. But it only takes you one bad decision to lose all of your hard-earned money.
Yeah. You might save a little bit of money on the pre-selling scheme, but you are taking on more risk. What are the most common scams that OFWs have to deal with?
Well, definitely is the investment scams.
He's back. Filipino financial coach and author Chinkee Tan, the man who's helped thousands of OFWs take control of their money and secure a better future. In our last episode, we exposed the harsh truth about why so many OFWs return home with nothing and how to break that cycle for good. This time, we tackled the darker side of money, scams targeting OFWs. From fake investments to too good to be true promises, we'll teach you how to spot them, avoid them, and protect every peso you've worked so hard to earn.
I've helped thousands and hundreds of thousands of Filipinos to get out of that already.
Right. Let's talk about the investments they should be making. Now, you've talked about investment vehicles like something that bears interest, or we talked about equity. We never really talked about equities, have we?
No.
The obvious one that we're familiar with is real estate. Right, you have these OFWs going out and they're working with this dream. They go overseas for a better life and a dream to maybe finally own a home here, right? And they can do so by going abroad. They couldn't do so here. And then, real estate is how much percentage of that investment, that discretionary income, would you advise OFW to invest in real estate, into equities, into some sort of savings, and then discretionary spend or consumable spend for their family? Have you ever had these talks? Like, how should you discipline yourself on how you should spend this money?
I don't want to share this publicly. Probably when I share this, many will become successful and rich.
Okay.
No, kidding aside. No, I don't gatekeep. You know what? Before we even talk about where you are going to bring your money, first, where are you going to source the money?
Well, right now, these guys are sourcing it from their income, from their jobs.
Exactly.
Right?
Again, I go back to the problem.
And you got to build a secondary income. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. The more you make, the more you spend. So I was able, again, to crack the code and help a lot of people to get out of that. There's a simple principle that I teach, and if you follow this will revolutionize the way you handle money, manage your money, invest your money, and grow your money. And this is what we call as the principle of spending. It says like this: as your income increases, you don't immediately increase your standard of living and spending, but you increase your standard of saving and investing. Let me repeat.
That makes sense.
As your income increases, you don't immediately increase your standard of living and spending, but you increase your standard of saving and investing.
Right.
Let's be more practical. Okay, simple. Can you start with 5% savings out of your income? 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
easy.
It's feasible. You can easily start that. Another 5% for investment.
Right. Yeah.
And then 90% devoted on your spending and your lifestyle.
Right.
Okay, let's put a number, 20,000 pesos. 90% is 18,000. 5% is 1,000 saving, 1,000 investing, right?
Right.
As your income increases from 20 to 30, again, you don't increase your standard of living and spending, but you increase your standard of saving and investing. So from 5, 90, it becomes 10, 10, 80. From 10, 10, 80, your income increases, it becomes 10, 20, 70. And then 20, 20, 60. 20, 30, 50.
So the amount of money you spend on your living always stays the same?
No, it decreases as a matter of fact.
No, but like the set dollar amount stays the same. It just decreases as a percentage of the total pie.
Exactly. Like, for example, let's start with 20,000 at 5,590, right? And then when you hit the 100,000 pesos mark, that's a 6-digit income, your formula already becomes 20, 30, 50.
Right.
What's 50% of 100,000?
50,000.
So which is bigger, 18,000 or 50?
50.
Haven't you realized, guys, even if you decrease your percentage in your lifestyle from 90 to 50, yet your lifestyle increased from 18 to 50. That's the good news. You never sacrifice your way of living.
Right.
The second good news is this. What's 20% of 100,000?
20,000.
You save 20,000 pesos every month.
Okay.
What's 30% of 100,000?
30,000.
You have an investable fund of 30,000 every single
Right.
month. You can purchase a condo, you can purchase property, you can invest in stocks.
Right.
So if you imagine this is really so amazing, guys. Don't miss this. If you only hear this in this podcast for this portion alone, it's worth the time that you invested.
So many OFWs are already sacrificing so much, leaving home, adjusting to new cultures, and then on top of that, they're getting charged huge fees for just sending money back. That's why I recommend checking out Nala. No hidden fees and some of the best exchange rates out there, so your family receives more of what you send. They're trusted by over 500,000 users globally and built specially for communities like ours. Download Nala today, use code JOHNDANG, and when you send $50, you'll get $20 back. You deserve a service that helps your money go further.
So imagine there will come a time that you will earn 200,000 a month. 50% of that is 100,000. It's good way of living. And then 20% of 20,000, that's 40,000. 30% of 200,000, that's 60,000. That's your savings fund and investable fund every month.
Right. In order for you to do that, Chinkee, you need to be very aware of like what you're spending, because a lot of times when people start making more money, they're buying cars, they're buying purses, they're trying to elevate their status.
Yeah.
But more importantly, in this particular case about OFWs, they're sending 70%, 50 to 70% of their family. What is their family spending that money on?
Well, definitely it will be based on their needs. Definitely, it should be based on their needs. However, if you really hear the real scenario, my next iPhone, my next iPad, my next upgrade, my shoes. It's, again, if you hear, especially the Filipinos say, oh, yung pasalubong ko oh, my size 10. They always ask for things that probably doesn't really yield them. Again, the philosophy is because they're earning there. And then number two, it's imported, probably much cheaper when they go on the sale. So that's the reason why you buy it there. Since the OFW wants really to give the best to their family members, that's the reason why they're willing to sacrifice. Actually, the form of probably payment for an OFW is to see smile and happiness in their family. That's their form of repayment.
Wow, that's touching. Let's talk about what are the most common scams that OFWs have to deal with.
Well, definitely is the investment scams.
And like borrow interest rate scams.
Yeah, interest rate scam, investment scam, and also we call it the people who borrows money never pays them back.
I see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they will always say, I will pay you back because I'm just starting a business, and all of a sudden, oftentimes when they loan to these people, they just ghost them.
Do you have any of your OFWs tell you about their real estate scams?
Yeah, definitely. Some of them, they just invested or bought properties without seeing the properties. They just trust, and then they didn't realize that that property was sold to 2 to 3 individuals already.
Yeah, I heard that happens a lot.
Yes, so that's really difficult, and that's the reason why it's very important for you OFWs out there, if you want to buy property and from a direct person or a person who just refers you, make sure that you make due diligence.
Yeah, make sure you're dealing with a reputable company,
Yes.
a licensed professional maybe. And then, yeah, so like a lot of the properties in real estate sold in the Philippines are pre-selling properties. These
Yeah.
are properties that haven't even been built yet.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're buying into this dream and this expectation is going to get built.
Yeah. So I want to protect especially the people who's watching this right now, especially if you are not financially literate. In order for, again, how will I know if I'm buying from a legitimate source?
Exactly.
Yeah, the best way is for you to go through a bank. You ask the bank. That's the reason why you need to have a bank account. That's the reason why you need to have credit score. That's the reason why you need to build something, a deposit. So this is how you do it. I know why John is reacting. Write it down so you won't forget. So guys, make sure you go through a bank and ask the bank you want to loan for a property, and the bank will do the CI and the credit investigation for you to check the legitimacy of your property. Right from there, they're for professionals. They will not approve the loan if they know that it's a scam. It has probably arrears or probably unpaid taxes, or probably it has been passed from 1, 2 to 3 owners already without you knowing it. They will tell you upfront, this is disapproved. So you know for a fact. So right now, once they approved you, you have 2 choices. Number 1, you can really loan with the bank, or number 2, you can just pay the fee and then you don't need to loan. At least you know that the property is safe for you to purchase.
You're 100% right. That might have been the best practical real estate investment advice I've heard from any of my guests. Because most people in the Philippines, especially on the higher end, they don't buy with loans.
Yeah.
But every country I buy in, I always choose the loan if I
Yes.
can, because the banks are your partner.
Yes.
They're taking the risk with you.
Exactly.
They might be charging you an interest, but that's what they get in return. But they're doing all the due diligence.
Exactly.
In fact, if you buy a property in cash, you can complete the transaction in a few days.
Yeah.
Right? But if you try to buy a property with a bank loan, it'll take you, in the States, probably 30 to 45 days on average. In the Philippines, they're saying 60 to 90 days.
Yeah,
That's why a lot of sellers don't take it, because they don't want to go through the due
In UK,
diligence
it's
process.
6 months.
Right. So the due diligence process is quite extensive, and you see the documents and the legal documents you have to sign. It's like this thick. But you can buy a property in cash like this. Why is that? Right?
Yeah.
There's a good reason for that.
Yeah, well, you're taking a lot of risks. You purchase a property in cash, and then all of a sudden you realize, it's illegal, or probably they don't own the property,
Right.
or if not, the title is not really legitimate.
Right. And even if I want to buy the property in cash, I will still, this is what I would do. I would still go through the bank loan, because they're going to help me do the due
Exactly.
diligence process. I'll make sure the bank loan has no prepayment penalty.
Exactly.
Because then after the loan and transaction is done and I want to pay off the property, I can pay it off early with no
Exactly.
prepayment penalty.
Exactly.
And I'm safe,
Yeah. That's what I do.
right? Smart.
That's what I do. Again, it's all about, guys, listen to this. It's all about transferring your risks. Because purchasing a property is one of the major purchases, expenditure, or investment that you will make in your life. It can make or break you. I always tell people, it took you a lifetime to earn the money. It took you a lot of sacrifice to save the money. But it only takes you one bad
deal.
decision
Yeah.
to lose all of your hard-earned money.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And you cannot take it lightly. You
No.
have to take every single step to do your due diligence. And I will even take it one step further. And I would say, if you're an OFW getting sold by these pre-selling developers, that are telling you, okay, well, you can get in on this low monthly payment, and in 5 years you're going to have this condominium. I would look in the secondary market.
Yeah.
Buy properties that are already built and existing. You might save a little bit of money on the pre-selling scheme, but you are taking on more risk. And like you said, transfer the risk. There are a bunch of properties right now in the Philippines. There is an oversupply of properties and condominium problem. The market has changed. There is a lot of flexibility for you to get into a property that's already built. Why would you go into a pre-selling scheme when you can buy a property now, even at a discount? Today, you can buy these property at a discount.
Yeah.
And you can avoid that risk.
Yeah. Guys, again, I would like to reiterate, I think we talked about that already on our first podcast. If you missed the first podcast, we talked about it lengthily. And then again, that's an issue of, again, people saying it's oversupply. But in reality, John, there are more Filipinos who don't have houses and homes.
100%.
So I don't think there's really such the word called oversupply. The only concern right now, most of the condominium units, as in per se, are overpriced.
100%.
Yeah, if it's priced fairly, I think a lot of Filipinos will buy.
Yeah.
So it's not an oversupply thing. It's an overpriced thing. And I perfectly agree with what John mentioned. If you purchase right now a pre-selling condominium unit, probably they'll price it at 200,000 to 300,000 pesos per square or more. But if you buy a pre-owned or probably already a built one, and you'll be shocked, they're only selling at 100 plus to 200 plus thousand.
Right, and then not to mention the secondary properties.
Yeah.
Like me, I have a condo that has been sitting for 2 or 3 years. I haven't gotten a single offer. I keep dropping the price.
Yeah.
Make me an offer,
Yeah.
right? You can go in and buy below zonal value even.
Yeah.
Less than you would if you bought it brand new
Yeah.
from these secondary homes.
And the good news is this, again, if you have cash right now, this is the best time for you to negotiate, because for some investors who purchase a lot of property, these are just already what we call as extra income already. They made money out of their income. So some of them would even sell below. Why?
Right.
Because they just want to convert it into cash.
Right.
I can still remember, because I'm a toy collector also. And I asked for the price of a certain toy, and I was shocked and surprised. It was selling below the market value. And I asked the seller,
Right.
which was my supplier, how come you're selling it? Because right now, again, there's so much competitors, and I have overstock. I have oversupply. Okay? And then right now, I just want to convert this right now into cash so that I can place it somewhere else.
Right.
So he's selling it right now at below market value. So if you're a buyer, this is the best time for you.
Exactly. Not to mention this. When you buy a pre-selling condominium or a property, you can't get bank financing on that.
Exactly.
You cannot get bank financing and a mortgage on a property that's pre-built. It has to be built.
That is not yet built.
And that makes sense. See, the banks are smart. The banks are not stupid. They're not going to take a risk on something that hasn't been built.
Exactly.
Pre-selling developers expect you to take that risk.
Yeah.
And you do it. But the banks won't do it. There's a good reason why the banks don't do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
The banks will underwrite the property and go through the due diligence on a secondary property, not on a pre-selling property.
Yeah. That's the reason why there's so many advantages actually if you buy from the secondary market. Number one, you can ask the neighbors there, how's the community, how's the traffic there, and how much the lease income that you're getting already.
You can touch and feel it.
Exactly.
You can visit it.
Yeah.
We had an OFW in our Discord community. She got scammed because she was constructing up a house. She bought a lot. She's constructing a house. And guess what? The contractor scammed her.
And not
She
only,
came
yeah.
back and it wasn't built.
Yeah, it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we hear that story especially for our OFW friends, especially sending money to the relatives and entrusting the construction to the relatives, and the relatives was videoing another house.
That was being constructed. It
Yeah.
wasn't even the right house.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh my God.
I heard tons of stories like that. That's the reason why when the OFW comes back, they're just shocked and surprised. Where's the property?
Right. And so easy to, and the coordination, it's probably an honest mistake on the family's part too. Because they don't know what address. They might not know the details.
Yeah, not only an honest mistake, the person definitely was videoing the construction from another house in another place, has really not so good intentions.
Right. So they're easy. OFWs are such an easy target for scammers here because they know you're too busy, you're not here, and you need to. You have this overwhelming need to help your family back here, so you're sending all this money back, and there's just so many opportunities to.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the reason another kind of scam is a business scam. when you say business scam, you send money for them to get a started business, and they probably either mismanage it, or if not, they're stealing money from you,
Right.
from the sales, because you're not physically present. So it's really very important, guys, mga kababayan kong OFWs out there, if you're watching and listening, again, never get into something that you do not understand, no matter how profitable it may be. And maybe probably, yeah, you're saying that, but right now, where do we bring our money? Okay, the best things that you can put your money is something that is safe, time deposit. That's number one. Okay, and then
What about treasury bonds?
right now, yes, but it also gives you right now, there's already opportunity that gives you the same interest. Like e-banks, electronic banking right now, they give high interest right now compared to the regular banks. You can easily get 3.5% to 8% interest per annum.
Would you ever recommend like the country Philippines treasury bonds, like the U.S. treasury bonds?
Well, it's not popular. That's the reason why not every OFWs know where to buy that, right? No, normally you buy it from the bank. But the best way, again, this is not an endorsement. This is for financial education purposes. You can check Pag-ibig, MP2. It's one of the best performers in terms of government agencies, the one that loans to housing projects. So they give at least 5 to 7% interest per annum based on the past 5 years performance.
Right.
So I think that's pretty safe. It's 500 pesos per month, or probably per quarter. It all depends. It's not a requirement thing. So if you want to grow your money, that you will have some security, because there are so many advantages. Number one, you can also loan from Pag-ibig.
Right.
And then not only, if you're not loaning, if you have money there, it helps your money to grow tax-free.
Right.
It's just like I think, what part in the U.S. that gives tax-free investment?
Like 401ks,
Yeah,
Roth
IRA.
IRAs,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, those are tax-free.
Yeah.
So we have our version here called, we have SSSWISP. We have also Pag-ibig MP2. We have also PERA, PERA. Yeah.
I would also consider one thing too, like real estate investments in the States can actually be tax-free because of all the tax advantages and write-offs. In fact, you can make money in real estate in the States and get a negative write-off.
Yeah.
Not pay any income tax on the money you
Yeah.
make and get more to offset. In fact, the tax codes in the U.S. really encourage real estate investments.
Yeah.
But here, you don't have you don't have the same advantages.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, just to give you a perspective, guys, in the States, I don't know the interest rate right now, but before it's only 1 to 2% interest.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3%
Yeah,
at the lowest.
2 to 3%, but they are able to lease their houses at 5% or more during that time. So it's basic math. You take in 5, you pay the 2, you still have 3%. But nowadays,
And then that doesn't even calculate the tax write-offs on top of that, so it amplifies it a little bit more.
yeah. So, but here in the Philippines, it's impossible for you to get it, because you get a housing loan from 7 to 10%, but you only can lease it out at 5. You're running at -2 or -5.
Right.
So probably the things that other teachers are talking about in the U.S.
Yeah. But then you also have the capital appreciation on it.
Yeah,
right?
that's the only good thing that you can get, but you need cash flow. And some people say the BRRR method, right? The build, then rent, and then renovate, and then reloan.
The PERA method.
Yeah. But again, it doesn't really apply here. You only can do the BRR method if you can lease it out at 10 to 15%.
Right. I mean, like we talked about, like fundamental changes. If the Philippines created more policies to encourage investments, for example, and that's kind of sometimes what the government has to do. Like they have to offer incentives. They have to offer tax incentives. You talked about how they had to, cut the remittance fee and give them back the rebate.
Yeah, exactly.
These are all government's way of incentivizing more remittances and more inflow.
Yeah, I perfectly agree, because one government policy can really mean a lot. It's a small thing for them, but it's a big thing for everyone.
Right, absolutely. We talked about investment scams. is I notice, and I'm from the gambling industry. My background is in the pogo and gambling industry, or in the online gaming industry, not necessarily pogo. But I saw that the Philippines gaming operations has grown significantly year after year. Last year, it grew by 27%. So there's more accessibility to gambling here. Is this a big problem for OFWs remitting their money?
Yeah.
Is that part of that money is being lost to gambling?
Yeah, when they send money, some of them just goes to vices like hueteng, tong its, online sabong, and right now, again, the gambling app. Right now, it's so prevalent. And they really targeted not only before you can, in order for you to gamble, before it's regulated by PAGCOR, you have to go physically to a casino.
Yeah.
And you must be not underage. There's limitation. There's
Right.
If you're government employees, you cannot step in, you cannot play.
You know, a lot in most, did you notice that in most countries in Asia, in fact, up until recently, pretty much all Asian countries, it was illegal. Gambling was illegal.
Yeah.
And even in some countries where they had casinos, it was only for foreigners.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't for the local market.
Exactly.
And even in Singapore, when you go to the casino in Singapore,
Yeah.
if you have a local ID, you have to pay $100 just to get into the casino. So the governments,
It's
most governments
discouraging.
are smart enough to discourage
Yeah.
their local people from gambling, and this is their way of bringing revenues from overseas, and it worked that way. But here, what's disappointing to me in the Philippines, they kicked out the Chinese gambling operators who are supposed to bring money from China, but now the growth of Philippines gambling and PAGCOR is growing significantly. And I think that really hurts the people here. That really hurts.
Yeah, well, basically, regarding again, it's not about the revenue. We cannot, I do believe, this is my personal opinion. I might get flack for this. For me, the ends doesn't justify the means.
Right.
Yeah, in order for you to raise funds for the government, it doesn't say that you have to destroy lives of people. Because you know how terrible online gambling is.
Absolutely.
They even targeted, right now, you can bet even at 50 centavos.
That's crazy, yeah.
So if you give an opportunity someone to bet at 50 centavos, who are you targeting?
You want to know something interesting about well, yeah, you're targeting everybody, like you said. Like, you're targeting the lower class.
You're targeting the taxi drivers, the tricycle drivers, and it's really sad.
So we're talking something interesting for you. Okay, you're talking about interest rates of this and this predatory interest rate. We're talking about remittance fee being 5%. Do you know what the margins are in gambling?
I would say around 70 to 80%.
That's not how it works.
How does it work?
So let's just take the most popular game in Asia, Baccarat.
Yeah.
Baccarat has the lowest odds. So for every time you play Baccarat,
The one that spins?
No, Baccarat is the banker player.
Oh, the cards?
Yeah, no, you bet on the banker or the.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Baccarat has a 1.5, I think less than 1.5% margin. Okay, so that means this: every turnover of every bet, you're losing 1.5%. Okay.
Who's losing for 1.5? The banker or
The player, on average.
Okay.
You win some, you lose some, but overall, you will average a loss of 1.5%.
Okay.
Okay. In credit card transactions, they charge more. In your remittance fee, they charge more.
Yeah, 3.5%.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason why gambling makes so much is because how many times do you transact, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's where they kill you. But, that's where people don't see. They don't see that this is the financial play. Whether you're in credit cards, remittance, whether you're in banking, or whether you're in gambling, it's all the same model. It's a percentage of the fee. The way we look at it in gambling isn't a win-loss. It's that 1.5% margin is like the fee. It's like the transaction fee.
Yeah, but if you bet 10 times, that's 15%. If you bet 100 times, that's 150%.
Exactly. That's how it plays out.
Well, that's amazing. Well, and again, that's a hidden cost that we
Right.
never see.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all about the hidden cost.
Not only the 1.5% that we're talking about, that's the hidden cost. You know what we're talking? The second thing, the biggest thing, out of 10 transactions you made, 10 times you bet, 9 times you won. You won 9 times straight.
Right.
On the 10th time, you bet everything.
Yeah.
So what happens next? You lose everything.
Right.
And whenever you win, you want more. Whenever you lose, you want to get even. You want to get it back. So definitely you're playing not against the banker. You're not playing against probably your seatmate. You're playing against your own emotions.
Right.
And if you bet against your own emotions, 99% you lose.
Right. So there's a lot of ways to lose money. Very hard to make that money. Right.
That's the reason why it's really challenging. Kaya nga, mga kababayan ko out there who's watching and listening right now, me and John probably opened Pandora's box. These are the things that really are hard to discuss. And it's okay for John to discuss this because this is his podcast. Just in case you can send the messages to John, not to me. And I always talk about again, I hope that you are enlightened in this episode that we have opened so many things
Absolutely.
that they don't know.
Can you tell the audience, like, if they want to get more advice and education and understanding about all this, where do they go? How do they get this from you?
Yeah, definitely they can get free access to my account on my social media, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. But I have great news for you. 2 great news. Number 1, just in case you need me to talk to, you need to ask questions. That's the only questions that OFW often probably ask. Who do I talk to? Who can I trust? Okay. The good news is right now, you just go to my Facebook page of 6 million followers. Just look for it because I have lots of posters out there. Just look for the check mark with the 6 million followers and go to the message button and you can ask me any questions there. Okay, and I will reply. Okay, who will reply? Okay, I want to be upfront. It's my chat bot, it's my AI bot. But the good news is, it doesn't give you financial advice, but it gives you the education that you need. I want to buy a property. What do you think will be the right decision? Okay, I want to invest on this. So it can give you education, but it doesn't give you any recommendation. My goal is to educate, not to push you to buy, to recommend you in any stuff. So that's for free. And the second good news I want to share with you, I have an OFW community called the TYL community. It stands for the Yayamanin Life Community.
What is it again? TYL. TYL.
Yeah.
Okay, where do we find this?
Yeah, you just need to search Google or probably again go to my messenger, my Facebook, and then ask, how can I join the community of Chinkee Tan? Every month we meet. I meet all my OFW community members, and there we discuss about their growth, their financial growth, what's their win, what do they need to improve. So they get to report. We have a small group. We have big group and small group. And on top of that, we discuss a major a topic that's relevant to all of them. And then the last part, they get to ask me questions live via Zoom.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It is awesome because I invest at least 3 hours there.
Because that's what people need. They don't just need courses online anymore.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think people need someone to hold them accountable.
Exactly. And basically, during the whole year, it's a 1-year program. We get to monitor them and we know what's happening with them. We know if they're saving already, paying off their debt, they're making the right decision. Just like the other day, I just helped someone to save, I think, 500,000 pesos. 1 million pesos.
How?
Because he was about to invest in a franchise.
Okay.
But that's not his core competence.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a content creator and he wants to get into a Are you going to take care of it? Are you going to no, I just want to put my okay. give your money to charity. That will be better. If you put your money there, you're gonna burn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I help him to save 1 million pesos.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he does something good with that.
Yeah. So guys, if you are interested, just search TYL. Just go to my Facebook account, message me, and I will be happy to answer your questions.
Also, I would like to ask you guys for something as well. I would love to ask you guys, if you're an OFW, please share your story with us.
Yeah.
Please share it in the comments, because we would love to talk to you, and we'd love to build awareness about your story so that other OFWs don't fall into the same trap.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if you like this content, please consider subscribing and share it with your other OFW friends. And also, if you want to have more in-depth discussion with us like this and talk to me directly, join my Discord. The link's down in the bio. Thank you very much, Chinkee. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my pleasure.